ready? Joe Castello, you on.
Thank you very much, Francisque. And once again, to everybody around the world, welcome. My name's Joe Castello. Francisque mentioned I do work for the National Hot Rod Association, do love drag racing, but in the past I've worked at NASCAR Radio on XM, helped launch that. I've done a lot of IndyCar pre-race. And so I love motorsport, and to be able to experience this week with all of you has been tremendous. And I'm really excited about Xceldyne. And we've got Corey out there, Corey, Jean-Charles, of course, and Keith is there. And it is my understanding that you guys are going to make a big announcement. So we're going to dive right into that. Corey, you're the co-founder. Keith, you're the technical sales. So lay it on us. What do you got to share with Industry Week here in the final day?
Well, thank you. One, we'd like to take the time to thank the EPARTRADE team, Francisque and John and Judy and everyone for allowing us and having this platform to work from with the trade shows not going on this year. But we're happy to use this platform to announce today publicly that JC and I, or John Charles and I, we'll refer to him as JC, have been basically friends and technical partners in the industry now for almost 20 years. And if I ever had a brother that's not my brother, it's JC. So we share a very common vision about the industry. And JC has developed and started a very successful steel valve component manufacturing facility focused on motorsports and Valvetrain components in France. And again, as a co-founder and CEO, and I've been at this company from the beginning as a titanium valve and Valvetrain component supplier. What we're happy to announce is that JC and I a few months ago started working on a project that we felt like that we could actually increase our total motorsport strength in the global aspect by joining forces. So the Xceldyne US facility has acquired certain assets from Mobiltech, or JC's company, and we're going to relocate the operation to Thomasville, North Carolina, and manufacture all of our titanium and steel valve and Valvetrain components out of a single facility. And more importantly, at the same time, instead of JC and I, we definitely are on teams multiple times a day now, and that would have been nice to have that 20 years ago. But I would say that it's been functional. But JC will be relocating to the U.S. and he will take the position of director of manufacturing and engineering. So we're super happy to have his skill set and his years of knowledge, and more importantly, his passion. His passion for this industry matches a large cross section of our entire business. We're racers here throughout the industry, throughout the entire business, and JC has that same passion.
Exciting. Congratulations to you guys. A merger, an acquisition, however you want to call it. You guys have been working together for so long, and quote unquote, combining forces sounds like a great way to advance your program and get your products in the hands of more racers out there. JC, speak on that a little bit, being able to work together.
Yeah. So I founded Mobiltech 15 years ago, and we thought that it was the right time to accomplish, let's say, the final stage of the rocket, and be together in the same on the same page and on the same facilities to build a strong motorsport facility, and be able to be very close to the customer needs, and service the best way our customer worldwide. So European customer, but also to improve our service to the North American market.
Excellent, excellent. So let's talk about the Mobile Tech acquisition. Like, how is it going to help expand your product offerings? Like, let's talk about some of those synergies and how is it going to enable you guys to be the last stage of the rocket. By the way, racers always with these extreme analogies, and I love it. For the folks in the North American motorsports market, how are they going to be able to benefit?
I'd like to say that in Europe, our premium component was a steel valve component, but also rockers and finger follower. And in North Carolina, these skills was not ready, but with the new the consolidation of our two facilities will offer to the North American market a premium and also a large range of rockers and finger follower solution. So as always, as we try to do since the past 20 years, we really want to have a global solution for our customers. So we are not only valve manufacturer. We are really a Valvetrain component specialist. So we can offer all the equipment for the engine builders. So starting for let's say a rally car engine or a motocross MX race engine. So we'd like to focus on this.
Excellent, excellent. It sounds very exciting. And you know, the current environment economically, we all know it. That's one of the reasons we're here online, but we're adapting and we're figuring it out, which is such a racer thing to do. Many manufacturers are diversifying their businesses to serve other markets. We've heard a lot of that over the course of the week. What about Xceldyne? What is your strategy, Corey or Keith or Jake? Dive in.
I'll take that one because we made a decision, and that's a great question. But we made a decision to reshape the trajectory of our company about 2 years ago, and we found that the distraction of other markets was not deserving of the motorsports customer base that we have. For us to be the best that we can be, we have to be laser-like focused on not just motorsports, but we narrowed our focus completely down to the Valvetrain. So we've taken the opposite approach. And so we took the opposite approach. I think some people maybe thought, what are these guys doing? But the objective sign of it is we've had the best year, even during COVID, in the history of our company. And the inertia that we created from that original decision 2 years ago has actually, again, I feel for companies that are down this year, but we've had a record year this year, and bookings, we spend half the morning entering orders now and getting them out on the shop floor. So as difficult as it has been, I would call it fortunate, but there was a lot of hard work between everybody involved to create that fortune. So our focus is paying off.
Excellent, excellent. You mentioned Valvetrain. What's your relationship with PSI Valve Springs? Speaking of a vital component in the Valvetrain.
You want to take that one, Keith?
Yeah, we are the largest stocking distributor of PSI Valve Springs. We partnered with PSI several years ago, and we chose them because they're worldwide leader in endurance valve spring manufacturing. We have all the matching hardware components, locators, springs for every spring they offer that we stock. So we build our parts to work with PSI Valve Springs. They're a great company to work with.
And to kick that and to heighten our presence, JC can probably expand on his activity with PSI, because it only, as we combined our forces here, it only increases our relationship with PSI Springs. And as Keith said, several years back for us now, it's been more than two decades ago when we forged that relationship.
JC,
yeah.
anything you want to add?
Yeah, as we said, we want to be also a kind of one-stop shop for our customers. So we'd like to offer the complete package for the Valvetrain. So the strong partnership with PSI was really important for us, and particularly for me when I start Movaltech 20 years ago. And it reinforced our strategy to be, as I said, a one-stop shop for engine designer. We are able to offer a really complete solution for the designers and the engineers. And on top of that, to be honest, I think PSI is the top of the spring manufacturer for motorsport activity. You mentioned endurance, but for the European market, with the increase of the mileage of all race engine, having a PSI springs is really a dream for engineers to have this type of component in their engine, reliable and high performance, like a Xceldyne product.
So Joe, again, as we combine our efforts, we take what's the longest tenure distributor for PSI Springs, the largest stocking distributor, and JC he may have sold himself short there. He's globally one of the best Valvetrain engineers available, and he certainly is a very talented spring designer. So the third part of the equation for us in the future, beyond the inventory, will be the ability to round out the full system design with our own spring design capability.
Excellent. And that was the next question, in that you seem to be wanting to, I don't want to say corner the market, but certainly have the ability to fulfill everything in the Valvetrain for everyone. But let's take a second, though, for people who are watching and maybe passing in, to find out like where and how, if they want more information or they want to get a hold of you guys to pursue some more information. What's the best place for them to get a hold of you guys, so then we can dive back into some more info?
I think we're maybe a little different than some of the valve companies are structured. We don't work through distribution. So you can contact us via our contact email on our website, or you can also contact us via telephone. We still have, we have 4 of the best technical salespeople available to answer the calls. They're exceptional on their knowledge. I think I was trying to think about it this morning. There's more than 100 years of experience in motorsports only with this team. So we still like the personal touch of the phone call, because the technical advice that our sales team can offer will be second to none.
Tremendous. And of course, EPARTRADE.com, a great way for everybody to stay connected with one another. But I know there's a lot of people, you say the phone, and I laugh. It's like, what's that? But that's still a great way to stay in touch. Let's talk a little bit about valves and how the quality of valve may differ from a Saturday night racer versus a Sunday racer as the levels of intensity go up, budgets increase or decrease depending on who we're talking about. You make valves for both. So lay it on us in terms of valve quality, what's necessary for each as we kind of climb that ladder.
Yeah, well, so our valve customers are the most demanding customers in the world. So we produce valves for NASCAR, Formula One, IndyCar, dirt late model, sprint car, all the way into the guys that are racing any type of late models, boats, NHRA. So I literally can't think of a professional or semi-professional motorsport activity in the world that we do not have a market presence. And I can remember, I'll tell you a story. I did my first audit for a Formula One team in Thomasville, and I had no idea what to expect. And during the audit, there was 3 engineers from Germany. I was walking through the shop, and of course, the job they grabbed to audit was a job for a go-kart. It was a titanium valve for a 5 horsepower block go-kart. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have a hard time explaining this one. But I was straight up, that valve gets made the way their valve and the rest of the valves in the shop made. And at the end of the audit, the biggest thing that they were impressed with was that we have one way to make a valve. So for us, it doesn't matter what market it is. We have that same pedigree and that same technology flows through our entire product line. And that's something that I've been very disciplined about, because as a Saturday night racer and a guy struggling to make it, I understand that that's where really the quality needs to be applied, because these guys have less engineering effort and less technology at their disposal. So it's our job to provide these guys the best product possible. So the short answer would be there's really not much difference at all. Maybe a few coating technologies, but the base valve is the same throughout our entire product line.
That's comforting to people out there. That's what they want to hear, that they're getting the technology and the experience from the cutting edge of racing, and then they can apply it to their own situation. So when purchasing valves, valve springs, retainers, locks, that whole ecosystem, if you will, tell me a little bit about a system approach and how that makes a difference when you're getting everything together for the most part.
Well, when we talked about springs earlier, we designed all of our retainers and locators to fit these PSI springs correctly. Along with that, we design our locks to fit with our retainers and our locks to fit with our valves. So, several manufacturers make a lot of these parts, but everybody has their own thoughts on their tolerance ranges. And that's why we prefer using our stuff, because we know it works well together.
So it's a global approach of the entire system, that everything has a purpose in this system, and and we can arguably say the Valvetrain is where the power is developed in the engine. I think most people would agree with that. And so it's extremely important, whether it's for performance, endurance, both, that these components interact as a system and designed from the ground up to interact proper together.
Makes, first of all, it makes sense to get all those parts that are going to be so closely related to one another from the same engineering staff, frankly. Where's your the manufacturing going to be going again? Now that Mobile Tech is coming on board, JC is coming over to the States. It sounds super exciting. Lay that on us one more time, as Francisque and John are already back.
We are located at 37 High Tech Boulevard in Thomasville, North Carolina.
Excellent. Gentlemen, congratulations on your new merger. venture acquisition, any, people who have been able to work together for 20 years and continue to advance and grow at the level you have. I'm so enthusiastic about it. Congratulations, and thank you for taking part here this week.
Hey, thank you guys.
Thank
We
you guys
really
for having
appreciate
us.
the time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That makes perfect sense. I mean, that makes absolutely perfect sense. I've known Jean, I call him Jean, call him JC now, I guess.
Francisque, why don't you, just for our entertainment, since it's Friday, why don't you try out some of your French on Corey and let's test him in front of the world.
Bonjour Corey, comment ça va?
Good day. How are you?
Je voudrais encore mieux.
So that is the one
You know
thing.
what? Hey,
JC's been very tolerant with me over the years because again, I will not kid you. As you heard me speak, English is a challenging language for me, so French is beyond my grasp.
you know what? I would tell you a story because, but first I wanted to say, I'm so grateful to see this partnership coming into fruition like this. I've known both you guys for years. I've seen you around the world, especially at the European shows all the time. So I'm very happy for both organizations. Now, Curry, who really surprised me in French, John Kilroy did something absolutely amazing years and years ago. We were invited during Le Mans, during the week of Le Mans, by a trade organization to talk about the US racing market and the globalization of the industry. And that was a very fancy room in Paris. Were you there, Jean-Charles? At the
I'm not
MEDEF?
sure. No.
At the MEDEF. That was at the MEDEF in Paris.
Oh, okay.
So and it was a group of French company, obviously, and John came with me, and we went after that to Le Mans. But John always surprises. That's the thing you need to know about John Kilroy. Always watch your back, okay? Because he's going to always have something at you. And so we had this big room, like it felt like the United Nations. It was incredible. It was like I've never seen like a table like this. Like how would you describe it, John?
There's like 50 people could sit around that table.
Oh, it was spectacular, and everybody's packed, and so who's who of the industry in France, and we also had some guests like Eve from Stand 21, people that had been doing business in America, and so I introduced John, and I said I'm going to translate the questions, etc. And John stands up without any paper, and he starts like going blah 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 in French with a beautiful American accent. And I did not believe that he did that. And so really, he basically wrote his speak in English, translated, memorized it. But the best part, that after he's done, everybody went to him and talked in French, and he couldn't understand it. Excuse my French. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, please. So anyway, so that was really funny. And there was a very famous Formula One driver who it passed Jean-Pierre
Jabouille. No.
No. Jean-Pierre Beltoise. Oh my God, I thought I had a blank. Won the Monaco Grand Prix, and he was there with his sons, and he came to John and told him like everything, and John had a blank. He couldn't understand one thing. So.
Oui.
Registering on EPARTRADE is easy. Fill out your name, email, phone number, and create a secure password. Next, select your business type. Choose supplier if you're looking to display products or services and connect with buyers. Choose racing business if you're looking to find new parts and connect with suppliers. Choose race team if you own or are a member of a professional racing team. Begin typing your company name. We most likely already have your company in our database, which you can select from the drop-down. Then, enter your job title. Choose Claim Company if you'll be editing your company profile. Other members of your company can choose Join Company if they'd like to use EPARTRADE as well. You can view and agree to our terms of use here. If you'd like to receive our weekly newsletter, choose Accept. Click Register Now, and your registration will be submitted for approval. You'll need to confirm your email once it goes through. To keep our platform industry only, you'll be approved shortly after. If we require additional proof of business, we'll reach out. Welcome to EPARTRADE.